Let's talk about the Fool because I want you to see how deep you can go with each card. So this is a tarot education one. If it's not your thing, that's all good. Scroll on. If you want to learn about how much information is in this one card, stick around. So the Fool is new beginnings. He's a bit silly. He doesn't care what anyone thinks about him. He's a free spirit. He's only bringing with him what he needs. We've got the loyal dog. We've got his clothes or whatever in his backpack. Not backpack, but, you know, rucksack, whatever. That's it. Anytime you see yellow in a tarot card, that is about positivity, happiness. Also, let's note while we're talking about it, anytime you see water in a card, in a tarot card, that is about emotions. A lack of water is a lack of emotions. Now, some people take a different approach to this card and see it as he takes each step, the universe is putting the ground beneath his feet. It's very much a trusting the universe kind of card. It can be a leap of faith, but it can also be a warning. The Fool is one of those cards that you really need to understand the context of what you're asking and the cards around it in terms of what meaning you're going to get from this card. It's a very adventurous card. It can be about being louder, taking up space, making noise. It can be travel, it can be a new adventure. The Fool doesn't take anything too seriously. Let me open up my book of notes and let's get further into it. You may want to grab a pen, you may want to save this video to refer to later. But let's get into it. So we've got freedom, humor, positive new adventures. He's not attached to any identity that he must prove to other people. This is someone who's comfortable being themselves. So it could come up as encouragement to be more of yourself, to be authentic. Worry-free, no fear of making mistakes, laughter is medicine, he paves his own path, loves shocking people, follows his own happiness, could be on a spiritual journey. Now, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it on here, but there is an eagle on his card. This is the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck that we're talking about today, but you can apply the meanings to any Fool in tarot, right? So the eagle represents spirit and higher perspective. The Fool is someone who lives in the moment, loves potential, loves possibility. Things are never as bad as they might seem when the Fool comes up. Leap into the unknown, be enthusiastic, and live life to the fullest. Again, fear of the unknown, hesitation, new beginnings can be hard. Innocence, a free spirit, spontaneity, beginnings. The major arcana is often considered the Fool's journey. I think I've already done one video on what the Fool's journey is, going through each of the major arcana, but if you want me to do that again, let me know. I'm going to keep it moving. We're going to go quickly. You may want to pause. Do what you got to do. Now, the dog, loyalty, protection. For me, it's also dogs teach us that it's actions that make us feel loved rather than words because, you know, dogs can't speak. It's that whole thing. Trust the universe, follow your heart. The time is now. Invitation to relax and have fun. Be carefree, curious, intrigue, childlike innocence, especially if this came up with the sun. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Step into the unknown, take a chance. Originality, travel, pranks, risk, impulse, trust. Can be ignorance, joyful, ready, a new soul or a young soul, rather than an older soul, which could be represented by any of the kings or the Hierophant. This is about setting aside your pride. Don't let the fear of looking silly hold you back. There's a lot of wisdom in this card. It's also about letting people be wrong about you. Don't let the fear of other people's perspective, their judgment, stop you from living your best life. Now, the Fool is the 0 in the major arcana, so he is the beginning before the beginning. It can be also about a disconnect between your inner trust and trusting your body to know what to do and conditioning from society, because you don't know that he's going to fall. But there could be that programming. So This is around learned fear and deeply ingrained self-doubt. This is the message to trust yourself. The energy of the Fool is self-trust. Yeah. Which allows us to take radical risks that may seem crazy to others. Now, I am not telling you to go up to the cliff face and lean over. Please don't. But if you can apply that to your life, how can you take more risk? Where you know you can trust yourself and back yourself, but it might seem crazy to other people. Let go of what you think you know and let life surprise you. Trust what you experience over what society tells you. Embodying the Fool's energy isn't always wise. Use discernment with each situation. We are meant to move to leap. So, depending on what you're asking, depending on what the other cards are, it could be a cautionary message to not take a risk. Or it could be telling you to be bold, live a little, see what happens, take a chance. It often does represent a risk worth taking. It's about trusting the cosmic consciousness, our higher self as well. And often if the universe is asking you to take a leap of faith when this card comes up, you're going to be seeing all the angel numbers. You're going to be getting little nudges. You're not going to have super tangible stuff, but it's like this longing and you just know. The Fool can be seen as madness and insanity because his choices often defy logic and reasoning. It is also about the fertile ground of possibility and opportunity. It can also be someone who's not ready to settle down, naive, or simply unaware. They do things for the experience, for the hell of it. So this is like the person that's had 50 jobs. They're doing it for the experience. They're here to live. Now, it's also important to note that we can't see how much cliff drop this is. Meaning what appears as a huge risk to outsiders may actually just be a small risk, a step. We can't always see the bigger picture. There might not be a risk. You don't know. Now, some people see the dog is there as a warning, like it's barking, like get away from the cliff face. But, I don't know, the dog looks like it's having fun. The dog is white, as is the rose up here, and the sun. So white is about purity and innocence. The dog is about loyalty. We've touched on that already. The Fool is carrying a stick, but perhaps it's a wand. Wands equal power. Wands are one of the suits in the minor arcana in tarot. So it's about power, inspiration, and action, but he does not wield it as a weapon. He is not on a power trip. To him, it's simply a tool. Distant mountains represent a journey. The Fool's meaning is dependent on the context of the question and or the other cards, especially Major Arcana. And this card can simply mean to lighten up. The Fool is a very free spirit. Might come across a little bit unhinged, might challenge your ideas. He is not... What is the word? He doesn't conform. He doesn't conform. He paves his own path every single time, and he will do it for the laugh. He will do it for the experience. A lot of new ideas, but doesn't necessarily think them through. Lives in the moment, not in the mind. There we have it. Let me know your thoughts on this card. How much of this was surprising to you? Is there parts of it you don't agree with? Do you want more content like this? Let me know.